Hello, welcome to Sideways. This week, having spoken about scarcity mindset last week, we're turning our attention to the many benefits of feeling like you've got enough. For example, I'm recording this at 6:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, sitting on the sofa with the dogs, waiting for the sun to rise with a cup of tea. It's quiet, warm, gives me a chance to reflect on yesterday and think a little about the day in front of me. It might be simple, but it really is the most glorious and stabilising way to start the day. If you can find joy in the smallest things, you'll be right on track with our subject this week. And we also find time for the difficulty with telling jokes, freezers, leaf blowers, and there's potentially good news for fans of the now defunct Caramac. Abundance mindset. You won't be going to Glastonbury then?
No, it's a nightmare. I've been on hold for an hour.
Have you?
And they've all gone. Yeah, so I didn't even get to go to the farmers market this morning.
You decided to forego the farmers market in favour of trying to get tickets for Glastonbury. So you ended up with no tickets for Glastonbury and no apples.
No apples and pears. No, I know.
It's interesting that we're talking about abundance mindset this week, then, isn't it?
Well, it is. Yes. Well, I definitely thought I was going to get some, and there we go.
Well, I feel sad for you.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, another year, eh?
Sorry about that.
If I survive another year,
there's supposed to be some big artist rumoured to be. I reckon it's going to be Taylor Swift.
You reckon? Yeah, Taylor Swift or Madonna?
No, it wouldn't be Madonna, would it?
I don't know. Yeah, sort of thing.
She might be She might get the Legends slot on a Sunday afternoon.
She may do. I'll have to watch it on the TV again, like I do every year. There we go.
Why don't you watch it on the TV and then erect a tent outside in the grounds? And you go back to that after you've watched it, and it'd be like a proper experience, wouldn't it? Because you wouldn't be partaking any of the beer or drugs anyway.
No, exactly that. Exactly.
And maybe you could get some fast food, overpriced fast food.
Yeah, and tramp around in mud for a couple of days.
Exactly. And then maybe hire a fire eater or something, because they have things like that down there and all. You get yourself a henna tattoo.
But yeah, well, I'm not going now, so that's it. Anyway, should we move on then?
Yeah, why don't we?
From my disappointment this morning.
Yeah, try and put it behind you.
I'm trying desperately, mate. But anyway, are you all right in yourself? How are you? You good?
I'm all right, yeah. Thank you.
And Daisy, all right, your doggy?
Daisy's very lame today, but we've only got 3 weeks before we've got to go back to Scotland and have her injected like Steve Austin, the $6 billion man, and whatever it was. What was it? Was it the $6 million man?
$6 million, yeah. You wouldn't buy anything these days, was it?
That's about how much it's costing to have stem cell therapy for my dog.
All the Glastonbury tickets.
Yeah, I don't suppose they're cheap, are they?
I don't know, 300 odd quid, aren't they? Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. There's the reframe. Saved yourself 300 quid.
Yeah.
You can spend it on Stollen Bites down Aldi.
I got some yesterday, actually, yeah. Anyway, yes, last week we talked about scarcity mindset.
We did.
Which is basically the belief that you've got limited resources, isn't it? Which affects the mentality of the person accordingly. And I think we mentioned it last week. We were going to look at the polar opposite, which is an abundant mindset. Which again, it was something I wasn't really aware of until I did the research last week. So it started to bleed over into abundant mindset, which it makes sense to do a different episode on it. But before we start. A couple of points. I don't know if you got any, but a couple of points that I wanted to just talk about here. It looks like we've influenced Jez, one of our listeners, to become a shopping addict because he's bought a couple of the books that you've mentioned.
Really? Excellent stuff.
Which was The Road Less Travelled and A Year of Wonder, which was the classical music, wasn't it, for each day of the year?
Yeah.
So the Road Less Travelled, what's that? What's that about?
It's a kind of psychology, spirituality book by Scott M. Peck. It's a classic.
Is it? And it's good. It's a good read, is it?
It's the book. I think it's the book where I first discovered the word limerence, which is a fantastic word.
It is a great word, and I find it it's very few opportunities to introduce that word, but
well, it certainly would be at our stage of life.
Yeah,
Earlier on, you experience limerence a lot more, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's a word. I know you told me about that. I'd never heard of that before.
I think that's where I first saw it. I think it's in that book, but it's a great book. That's good. Well, I'm going to keep mentioning books then, so that Jez has to keep buying them.
He'll have a full library, won't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll have plenty of reading to do because he's not going to Glastonbury either this year.
Oh, so he didn't get tickets either?
No, because you can buy like 6, so we're all trying to buy each other's. So
so none of you got tickets?
None of us got tickets. No.
Oh dear.
But there we go.
Never mind.
Another point. I've been advised that Caramac has effectively been replaced by Cadbury's bringing out Caramilk. I haven't seen any of those, but yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hang on. So was Caramac owned by Cadbury? Because I didn't think it was. It was
No,
Nestlé,
I don't think it was.
wasn't it?
No. What do I think? They're looking at filling the market.
Oh, I see. So they're saying, now that Caramac has gone, there's a gap in the market.
Yeah.
And we're going to fill it with Caramilk.
Yeah. It might have already been there. I don't know, but someone did mention it to me.
I've never seen Caramilk. So
nor have I. I'm going to try and find one now. So
presumably Caramilk is essentially Caramac, but in a slightly different shape with a different wrapper.
Yeah, a bit more milky.
I wonder if the Caramac fans will be appeased by
I don't know. Well, I'm going to try one. Since I'm going to try and search one out. Yeah, see who's stocking them and have one.
Are you going to get out there today? You're going to run down there like Dave Randall used to run down Leisures on a Saturday morning?
I don't think I'll have a chance to do it today, but you never know. I've got to go and buy some apples now. Well, I can go to the farmer's market after we've finished recording. It's open until 1.
Can you?
It's open until 1:30. Yeah.
Right. Well, we better crack on. Let's crack on. Let you get out and get some apples because we don't want you to be bereft of apples and Glastonbury tickets.
No, we don't. Just one last point. Lizzie, my youngest, she texted me to say she was well pleased with herself because she got the Adele question right on the Guest of the Year quiz.
Oh, that's all I need. Bloody listeners communicating with us and telling us they got ones right that I got wrong.
She did say that's probably the only one she'll ever get right because most of the people we mentioned are way before her time. So,
in terms of evaluating my performance, it makes it look as if the questions are pretty much like the questions on University Challenge.
Yes,
I'm making them look that difficult.
Yeah, you are. You're making a good attempt. Yeah, I think you're getting quite close. So,
don't patronise me.
No cigar, is there? On that 2 years.
Don't smoke.
Don't smoke. Anyway, we'll go on to the subject matter.
Yeah.
So I've got this little list here. I wanted to look at the differences between the two mindsets because I think it's a way of introducing it and look at how to we move on to how to effectively move from the negativity of one to the positivity of the other.
Yeah.
Are you cool with that?
Sounds great.
So first of all, I just got this little list of just a few pointers as to how they differ. So scarcity mindset is basically pessimistic thinking, and abundance mindset is optimistic thinking. So you could separate them up quite easily there. And someone with a scarcity mindset often considers the limitations of any situation, whereas someone with an abundance mindset considers the opportunities that exist within the situation.
Yeah,
the same set of circumstances, just a different way of looking at it.
A reframe, one might say.
A reframe, yeah. Exactly that, and we like a reframe, don't we? Talk about that.
We do like a reframe
regularly.
And your abundance mindset will be tested this morning, won't it? With the absence of apples and tickets.
It will, yes. I'm trying to move myself over to the optimistic thinking part of it. Yeah. What's the second? Oh, yeah. Which is, the way I feel this morning, I've got a bit of a victim mentality about it. There's too many people in the queue. It's an outrage.
Right. Okay.
But someone with an abundance mindset would lead with control by taking the responsibility. So perhaps, because there is an opportunity later on where people have returned tickets or haven't been out, have changed their mind or whatever. So there is another opportunity. So,
but even in the absence of another opportunity, you would still, you might say, well, it's just unfortunate. I had the same chance as everybody else, and
exactly.
I didn't. My ticket wasn't pulled out. Yeah. Which I think is also important because you don't get the spoils, but you probably wouldn't feel quite so bad about it as you would if you thought, oh, this always happens to me. I'm never lucky. My name never comes out. Whilst it might statistically be true, it's not very helpful thinking.
No, it isn't. It isn't. And the next point was, if you're having a scarcity, or if you suffer with a scarcity mindset, you can spend a lot of your mental energy on what's lacking in your life, rather than spending the mental energy on the next possibilities. So it's getting stuck in that victim mindset again, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's if you focus on all the things that you don't have in your life, everybody's going to find that pretty easy. Well, most people are going to find that very, very easy. And so you're kind of, it's compelling to be drawn towards all the things you don't have that you'd like to have. Yeah. But again, it doesn't make you feel better.
No, quite. I think you, again, with a scarcity mindset, it's that negative attitude that can, and you probably know people like this, I've spoken about it before, because it demotivates others and drains the energy of people around you, doesn't it?
It's best to limit your exposure to people who are very negative thinkers. Yeah,
we all know those people, don't we? That just ooze negativity the whole time. Where if they had an abundance mindset, they would inspire and energize those people around them.
It says something in and of itself, doesn't it? Which is that it's more enjoyable to be around people who have a more abundant mindset.
It is, and that's one of the when we're looking later on in my notes here about how to overcome that. It's one of the points. So we'll revisit that in a mo. One that I've come across, you probably came across it in the corporate world more, where some people with a scarcity mindset will refuse to collaborate or share credit with others. So they keep it all to themselves. If there are something come along which will generally benefit the whole of the team, as it were, they keep that very much to themselves and try and grab all the glory. Where with an abundance mindset, those people collaborate well and share the knowledge and share the success and bring everyone along with them.
Yeah, that's just making me think about how. Obviously, this podcast is symptomatic of abundance mindset, because the information that we give away, if someone gets something from it, they've got it for free, right? If it helps anybody in any sort of way, and we know it does because people tell us, they haven't had to pay for it.
No.
Now, if we had a scarcity mindset, we'd say, oh, we're not going to do that. If people want what we're offering, they'll have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I think there's you see so many examples of that everywhere, that kind of difference between someone not giving something, not sharing their knowledge, not collaborating, as you say, because they're fearful of what they're losing, what the potential loss for them is. But of course, the potential gain is that everybody feels better about everything, which is quite a prize.
Yeah, it is. And it's why the peer support groups work as well, where you are sharing the knowledge rather than just keeping it to yourself to hopefully you'll crack on and everyone else will fail around you. So you come out looking the best with your longest periods of sobriety.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
So
it was, sorry, just to stop you there, because you mentioned peer support.
Yes.
I was reading something the other day from someone that I follow on Substack, and I can't remember, I'm not quoting her verbatim here, but she was describing how actually in some ways addiction is a portal into something quite beautiful, which is when you move into recovery, you have that opportunity to move from that very kind of self-centered internal world into something that is much more about sharing, much more about abundance, much more about trying to make the world, however, whether you think about that in a sort of macro or micro sense, a better place. And that is, of course, what you see in peer support. You've got, it's like a complete 180 from where all of those people who sit in that room once were, because they're all sitting, sharing their experiences, trying to help other people. And they've come from a position where actually they were just in self-destruct mode, shutting everyone else out. So it's really quite a, in a sort of strange sort of way, it's a really beautiful opportunity to make the world a better place when you move from active addiction into sobriety.
I agree, and that's well summed up. And I think that it's almost like a pyramid scheme. If one person helps two people and they help two people. And so it goes on. So it can spread. So the people that are actually in the peer support, and we do get that feedback to us. People coming to groups say, I've been talking to other people about this and helping them along and that sort of thing. So yeah, it does work. That's for sure. What about trust? Because it says it says in the scarcity mindset list I've got here that those with that mindset find it hard to trust others and they default to suspicion, where an abundant mindset person will lead with trust by focusing on relationships.
Yeah, of course, because it's what you were just talking about in the corporate world. People will keep things close because they'll think, if I show it to anyone, they'll take credit, or I won't get full credit for the part I played in it. That's about trust, isn't it? That's about trusting that, if you go into something positively with good heart, that it will, it'll reflect well on you in a broader sense.
I agree, and that leads on to the next point. Really, is that people with a scarcity mindset very much act as a taker, expect more from others, whereas those with an abundance mindset tend to act as givers and contribute to others' well-being, which again leads on from that last point, really. But I think it's worth looking at. And the last point I had there really was establishing their sense of self-worth. Now, this is by comparing themselves to others. So those with a scarcity mindset will always compare what they have and who they feel they are with others. Whereas people with an abundance mindset, which again is very relevant to us in recovery, is you establish your sense of self-worth by comparing yourself to your best possible version of yourself. So you're looking at your own parameters rather than looking at what other people have and how well they're doing. And that works very much in the peer support system.
It's like, we've spoken in the past about the places you can get your self-esteem from.
Yes, we have.
You can get it by comparing yourself, by listening to what other people say about you, or you can generate it yourself. And that's what that's saying. The greater the extent to which you're able to say, well, I feel good about myself because based on my own expectations of me, I think I'm doing okay. That's bulletproof, isn't it?
It is. It is. I think we limit ourselves, don't we, if we remain in the if only trap. I think we've probably all said that perhaps to ourselves, or we know people that constantly use that phraseology. If only I won the lottery, or if only I was more respected at work and I could earn more money, or if only so and so wanted to be in a relationship with me. All those sort of things, and that limits you, doesn't it? Holds you back.
Yeah, because it's like we were saying earlier on, you're looking at all the things you don't have in your life and you're telling yourself that without them, your life is less.
Yeah.
Rather than thinking about all the things you do already have and appreciating them.
So do we agree that the abundant mindset is by far the best position to be in?
I think that's,
It's straightforward, isn't it?
I don't think there's any question about that.
It's not up for debate, really, is it?
No, of course it isn't, because however little you have, if you feel grateful for it, again, it's like, thinking well of yourself. It's pretty hard for anyone to dislodge that, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is. So how do we shift ourselves away from this negative, pessimistic thinking to the more optimistic way of thinking, to the abundance mindset?
But you've got a list, have you?
I've got a few little pointers, which came up in the research. The first one was, believe in infinite possibilities. Those with an abundance mindset can perceive the highest potential in every situation, which we've already touched on, really, in the difference between the two.
I think one of the ways in which you see that playing out, one of the ways that will be kind of familiar to most people is, as we get older, we tend to think that our opportunities start to close up. I can't do that. I'm too old now. Yeah. I mean, changing careers might be a good example of that. You think, I've done this for so many years now, I can't do something different. That is an example of a scarcity mindset that's quite self-destructive. What is the possible benefit in you believing that something is beyond you? The worst that can happen is you go for it and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, quite.
But if you think, I definitely won't be able to do that, then guess what? You definitely won't.
Do it. You're going to stay where you are, aren't you?
Of course, yeah.
Which leads us again nicely on to the next point, really. a little bit of Buddhism, really. What you think you become, your mind is everything. And Buddha taught us that. And that is it's very much...
He's a good lad.
He is a good lad, yeah. Much misunderstood. But he was, he came up with some good points. And I know that, I like to read about a little bit about Buddhism and that sort of thing. And I quite like the philosophy of it all. And that's quite a straightforward one. But
we are we are what we think. That's true.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's the basis of a lot of issues. And we already touched on it, but if you do want to move from one mindset to the other, we've really got to stop comparing yourself to others, and just look at that potentially best possible version. And it's quite tricky in addiction because we don't know what that best possible version is often, because we're not going back to where we were before we got involved with drinking drugs. We're really creating a new person going forward. But I like that because it does give endless possibilities, because there's always room for improvement. And you can do that when you've been freed from the shackles of the madness of addiction.
Yeah, the absence of comparing yourself with other people might sometimes feel like a curse because you don't have a blueprint. But it's also a blessing because, as you say, you can be who you want, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
And I think that's one. I think we talked about this when we were talking about identity. This idea that we're a fixed thing and we have to find out what it is nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're constantly evolving. You can be who you want. And when you go into recovery, if you've gone into recovery after an extended period of active addiction, you are reinventing yourself, and the possibilities are endless. You can be who you decide to be, and I think that's incredibly liberating.
It is. It's like pressing the restart button, really, and you're refreshing the page, which I was constantly doing this morning, trying to get the head of the queue Glastonbury tickets. I'm not going on about it anymore.
Not that you're bitter or anything.
Twisted about it. No, exactly. But I think, comparing yourself to others is the fast track to misery, isn't it? We know what that, and discontent.
I mean, it's okay. We could do it to some extent. I think it's important to understand where the distinction lies between comparing ourselves to others in an attempt to improve at something.
That's fine.
For instance, modeling yourself on someone else. It's fine. It's really healthy. If someone else does something really well, you can learn from them. But there's a difference between that and considering yourself no good, because when you compare yourself with other people, all you ever see are things that you don't see in yourself. You just create a self-fulfilling prophecy then.
Yeah, you do. And I think you're right. There isn't a problem in having a hero or a heroine to look forward, if I can use that word, to move forward. But if it's steeped in jealousy and malcontent because of what they have and you haven't, then it's then you are going to fall short, aren't you? Being willing to learn, the desire for learning and growth forms the basis for abundant mindset. Now, I found that, and I still continue to find that as a way of moving forward and evolving as a person, evolving more positively. Because I find certainly going into recovery again, you free your mind to a lot of things that's been shackled when it's it's all consuming the addiction you have. Moving away from that, all of a sudden you've got this this freedom to explore, and then you can, and so you do. I found it fascinating learning about addiction, which I knew nothing about before, really, other than being an end user. Behind it, and the science or the lack of science in many areas of it makes it a fascinating subject.
Yeah, I mean, growth as a person, as a human being, is important for all of us. I think it's one of the reasons why it's not a happy place to be in active addiction, because you're not growing.
No, you're not. No, you flatline. You almost go into reverse, to be honest. But yeah, you flat. Exactly.
So the idea that people who are in active addiction or people who sit at home all day watching daytime television, eating crisps, are happy. I'm not buying it. I don't think that. We're meant to be. We're meant to grow. We're meant to evolve.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So if you're in a position where that's not happening in your life, I think you're probably your underlying state will be one of unhappiness. But it's also similarly true that sometimes we can prioritize growth above all else. If you're interested only in growing and learning, then you tend to compromise other aspects of your life, like your personal relationships. So it is important to kind of get a balance, which again is another one of the reasons why peer support is so valuable, because you're growing and learning and you're maintaining healthy relationships. So
it's win-win, isn't it?
Win-win.
And the next point is something that we did touch on earlier on, was surrounding yourself with others that have an abundance mindset. And there was the phrase, and I think we talked about this before, but a phrase that says, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
I don't spend time with 5 people.
Well, with the dogs.
The dogs count.
I think they do, because they bring an enormous amount of joy and quality to your life, don't they? And they're always positive, aren't they, doggies?
Yeah, so do you say it's 5 people?
Yeah, the average of 5 people.
Yeah.
You become,
do your family count?
I suppose so, yeah.
I suppose they do, yeah.
The people you spend most time with. So then if all those are all negative people, you're going to very easily slip into that mindset yourself, aren't they? But those that have positivity, then that also will have, by osmosis, you're going to become a more positive person just by being with them. Well, the last point I wanted to come on to was incorporate gratitude as a daily practice.
That's the one. I mean, when I think about the ways in which you overturn a scarcity mindset and move towards an abundance mindset, the 2 things that spring to my mind are, first, identify what your limiting beliefs are and where they've come from. Yeah. That's the first thing. And then the second part of it is to practice gratitude, because the more you focus on what you've already got and the good things that are in your life, as we've seen, we know this to be the case. It becomes self-fulfilling. It becomes easier and easier to see the things that you're grateful for.
It is. I was looking at I was reading when I was doing the research about some of the scientific research that establishes the benefits of gratitude, and they're recommending it as a daily practice, and it can improve your mental health, strengthen your relationships, and enhance your own personal happiness and well-being. So just having that mindset where you do, and we encourage it all the time in peer support, to have yourself a gratitude list, and some people, will keep that in their back pocket. It's like a mental first aid kit. So you can just have a quick glance at it if you're feeling a bit pissed off and a bit down. So, I agree with it. But talking about gratitude leads us very nicely onto the next section.
You've changed your template then?
I have changed my template so I can seg a little bit easier.
The other thing about gratitude, and there is a lot of talk about gratitude lists, and gratitude lists are great. But I think what happens is, if you really invest in noticing gratitude, you probably move away from it needing to be on a list, and it just becomes a natural, instinctive thing that you do. You'll be walking around living your daily life and you'll think, I feel good about that. I'm really pleased I've got that, or, that person's in my life, or whatever else. And I think when it reaches that stage, I think that it's like you've developed a muscle, the gratitude muscle.
Yes, you have.
So this week on my gratitude list, I've got freezers.
Freezers? What, deep freezers, or freezers in any freezers?
Upright freezers, deep freezers, chest freezers, any old freezer.
Okay.
Not those little compartments that used to sit in fridges, though, because they're no good to man nor beast.
No, they're not, are they? No,
you could keep a little tray of ice cubes and some fish fingers in there.
That was about it, wasn't it?
All you get in there. Yeah, I've got freezers on my list because we are approaching the that time of year that's not your favourite, Christmas.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cooking for the cook to do around Christmas. And I'm feeding a lot of people this year. I think there's 9 of us, including you.
Including me, yeah.
And so it's quite good to be able to get ahead of the game with certain things that you can do ahead and stick them in the freezer, whatever they might be, breadcrumbs or whatever else. And so if I didn't have a freezer, it would be all a little bit last minute. So yesterday I was doing a few little bits and pieces, and I was thinking, it's a bloody good job I got a freezer, because otherwise I'd be doing all this on the 20th of December and I'd be in a flat spin. So I'm grateful for my freezer.
Okay, well, I think we overlook that quality, because it's become part of everyday life, and you're right.
Absolutely.
It's nice just to mention it. On my original point on my gratitude list was leaf blowers. Now, I don't have one. And I've often thought, bloody noisy things and stuff, but there's been people around where I live here, and they've blown away a lot of the leaves using leaf blowers off of the paths, because it's become a little bit slippery. And so I was grateful that people were making the effort to go out and to blow the leaves off of the pathways, which makes
Very
it
nice.
much easier for me and less treacherous.
Yeah, now that you're a man of a certain age.
Exactly, yeah. Falling over at my age is not as funny anymore. It's still funny to other people watching it.
I'd still think it was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
But you might be a candidate for a new hip or something, mightn't you?
You don't want that, do you?
If you fell over. Now, interesting thing about leaf blowers. We had a leaf blower and it was stolen from our garage years ago. So that's one memory I have of leaf blowers.
Yeah.
The other thing is the house a few doors down. They obviously have. I think it's a rental property, and they have a property maintenance guy come in.
Yeah.
And he cuts the hedges and he leaf blows, but he always seems to come when I've got the window open and I've got a client, so I can't bloody hear anything.
Okay, yeah.
In those moments, I'm not very grateful for leaf blowers. But I certainly take the point. It is quite useful not to have to tread through loads of slippery leaves that might also contain nefarious piles of dog poo.
No, quite. I've seen a video, an online video of this guy using the leaf blower to dry his wife's hair.
Really? Yeah. How much hair did she have?
She had very long hair.
Crikey.
He could see her messing around. It was a sort of a jokey video where she was taking too long to get ready to go out. Right. She was drying her hair with a normal hairdryer. He just rocks up with a leaf blower.
Let's hope he didn't put it on suck instead of blow. That would be a problem, wouldn't it?
I don't. Do they have that ability?
Yeah, they do, because you can put a big sack on them, and then they get effectively you hoover them up. And they all get sort of mangled up in the mechanism, and they end up as a sort of mulch in the bag. Really, very, very useful. You can put them straight in compost.
Yeah, well, they seem to just blow them around. I think they do blow them into a pile and then take them away. But yes,
they blow them into a pile, just leave them there.
Just leave them there, so they'll
blow around again.
So that's I'm grateful for. I suppose I'm grateful for the maintenance people coming around and doing that and keeping the development nice.
Yeah.
The feature next is 100 skills that every person should master.
Yeah.
The one I picked out was to tell a joke. Now, I'm terrible at telling a structured joke.
Me too.
I'm sort of in awe of people that can, especially people who can rattle off one-liners. But I avoid telling them. I sort of I think I get my humour from stuff that's going on around me rather than telling a structured joke. I could never tell them properly. I think I
absolutely agree.
Or I get the punchline wrong. You know, people that try it and fail, which is quite funny in its own right, isn't it? Really, when they badly deliver a joke. But I'm very much fall into that category, so I just avoid them. I must admit.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing worse, is it, than when you get to a punchline of a joke and everyone's been listening, and then there's that sort of tumbleweed that goes across. And you think, oh God.
Well, how do you react when someone's telling you a joke you've already heard? Do you let it go to the end of it and laugh politely, or do you say, oh yeah, I love that joke, or do you just say, oh, I heard that? You know what I mean?
I think I would say, unless it was someone I didn't know at all, I think I'd probably say I've heard this one. Because I don't think I could fake the response.
No, it's tough, isn't it?
My late father-in-law used to like to tell a joke, and they were usually really inappropriate.
Yeah.
And usually you'd have heard it sort of 15 times before, minimum.
Yeah.
So I could just let those ones go over my head.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think people really, do people still tell jokes?
They do, yeah. I mean, some people, I've known people that they'll start to tell a joke and you say, oh yeah, that's good, I like that one. And they'll still crack on and tell it anyway.
No, shut up.
They just blast through it and finish the joke.
Yeah. The problem with telling jokes is that humour is so subjective, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And what would make me laugh probably wouldn't make a lot of other people laugh.
No.
Like, the old joke about the horse that sits on grapefruit. Do you know that one?
No.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not going to tell it.
No.
But it's a really stupid joke, but it really made me laugh. But if you tell it to anyone else, they're like, what?
Yeah.
What's funny about that?
Yeah,
and
well,
of course, that's just embarrassing and awkward.
So I don't think I've quite happily got through life without having that particular skill. So I don't think it's...
Yeah, I don't think it's a necessary skill.
No, I don't.
I think that's the first one we've given the thumbs down, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah, generally. Okay, on this day in music, but in which year?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So The first one, as we know, is a number one in which year? Mm-hmm. This was Baby Love by the Supremes. I'll put that in there because they're the first all-female group to have a number one in the UK.
Right.
That's very early on.
Baby Love, my baby.
Covered by various other groups and singers since.
So this is the original, isn't it?
It's the original, yeah.
It's got to be the 60s.
It's got to be in this black and white telly days, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm right in the 60s, and I'm in the right decade.
You are, yeah.
I'm going to go 66.
2 years out, mate. 2 years out. 64. 64.
Okay.
So,
I can't be too disappointed with 2 years.
No, you can't be. No.
That's not a bad effort. Okay.
No, it isn't, especially as it's so long ago.
Yeah.
Do you know which year Adamant was born?
Maybe late 60s. 58.
54. So a little bit.
Oh, he's older than I thought, actually.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
69 then.
Because he came up during the punk era, didn't he? Sort of late 70s. Adam and the Ants were quite a strong punk group before he went out on his own. Now, the last one is a death, which was. Do you know which year David Cassidy died? Now he's an alcoholic and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have an affinity with the lad. He died at the age of 67. And I don't know if you've seen the documentary. Very sad, really, when you see him struggling to sort of rekindle some sort of music career, and you could see he was so desperately struggling with his alcoholism.
I haven't seen it. No,
very sad.
I can remember my sister had many posters of him on her walls as
real heartthrob back in the day, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
In the Partridge
I used to like
Family.
watching the Partridge Family.
Yeah. It was that was a Saturday morning viewing, really, wasn't it?
It was. I reckon. Well, I reckon it was the 2000s. I'm going to say 2007.
2017. So it's not that long ago, really. So, yeah, no.
Well, I haven't really. That's an inauspicious effort this week, isn't it?
It is.
2017. Crikey, that's not that long ago.
No.
Is Donny Osmond still alive?
Donny's still alive, yeah, because they were sort of rivals in the charts. They were the Blur and Oasis of their day, weren't they?
Yeah. Is Jimmy Osmond still alive?
Osmond's still alive. I don't think all the Osmonds.
It's funny, actually, because the other day, it's funny you should mention David Cassidy, because the other day, for some reason, I don't know what, I was trying to think of the names of all of the Osmond brothers.
Oh, were you? Well, that's quite tough, really, isn't it?
Yeah, can you think of any of them?
Oh, no, after Jimmy and Donny.
There was a Wayne, wasn't there? There was a Wayne Osmond.
Alan
Osmond.
You
just made that up.
No, I thought it was an Alan, wasn't there?
I think there was an Alan. Yeah. An Alan, Wayne, because there was quite a lot of them, weren't there?
Loads. Marie, obviously, she's one of the
yeah, well, Marie, Jimmy, and Donny were easy to remember, but Wayne, Alan, and I couldn't think of any others.
No, I can't. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah. There we are.
So before this time next week, I'm going to have to get myself a Caramac and look up the rest of the Osmond names. Okay. Well, I'll let you crack on with that then, mate.
All right.
Bye.
Laters. Bye.
Sideways was created by Graham Landy and Martin Pankhurst. If you want to read more about our work or sort through the extensive archive of past episodes, just visit grahamlandy-wellbeing.co.uk/sideways-podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram at Sideways Podcast, and you can email us if you have a question or if there's something you'd like us to cover. But most of all, we want to tell you how grateful we are that you come and listen, and we ask that if you've enjoyed what you've heard, that you spread the word. And we'll see you next week.